Tricking going more mainstream and getting more recognition is a double-edged sword, but I believe that the pros vastly outnumber the cons.
Pro, more money into the community.
More opportunities for trickers, whether it's there are now tricking classes at a gymnastics gym,
Teaching, stunt job, showcase,
you can audition for Cirque and go get paid money to do flips for a living.
shows, and anything that can be entertainment.
You can go on a tour, you can do all sorts of things.
More exposure for people to get into tricking, more people providing like tricking at their gyms, like gymnastic gyms and stuff, so.
It adds more money into the tricking economy.
I think maybe parents could see that like there is a future to tricking, you know, rather than just it being like a fun hobby.
Then we could have way bigger events like X Games, for example, where trickers could go and compete.
More opportunities for athletes, not just athletes, but also like event organizers. We just get more opportunities to expand.
More people would get into it, more people would be invested into tricking, which is all pluses.
Yeah, basically we'll just be able to do everything better, I feel like, if we have money in the system.
More people interested, it means more coaches working to teach tricking, so it's a whole circle.
More things, bigger and better or whatever.
For me, what I want to see is the skill ceiling being raised sooner. So trickers are just gonna become more like
Yeah.
It'll be sick.
For sure.
You can walk around and say tricking and have it not be like, what? And you have to explain it over and over and over and over and over and over. I'm kind of sick of doing that.
Cons, privatization of the sport.
With the economy growing, people may see that as a con too. They think when money comes in, you know, it like dilutes the sport or something like that.
I don't like the idea that the athletes are being bought and are put under contract and they cannot show their skills because the company offered them money to just keep the skills exclusive.
We might lose part of our culture or something like that.
It may lose its X factor and special quality, right? Because it's not as like unique and special anymore. But
I mean, like,
if you like tricking, I think that's fine.
One of the big things about tricking is you can meet like famous people in the community or people you really look up to just by going to a gathering.
Like breaking, for example, when they were introduced to society in the 80s or so, people called it break dancing. And that's not what it was called breaking, and so there's this whole misconception of what the name is, basically.
there can be rules now when you go to events and stuff like that, but like, other than that, I don't think that's a con.
So maybe tricking could experience something like that. Or with parkour, the Office video where they're making fun of parkour. That kind of thing could be kind of bad.
You couldn't just like go to an event and just meet like your favorite tricker, whereas you can do that now.
And just with the existing stereotypes, I think it would be kind of easy to make fun of trickers, honestly, but especially since it's all men primarily.
One of the compliments I loved that someone gave to me was, Brandon, you got to be a rock star without being a rock star. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I got to do ESPN, I got to fly to these events and stuff and be a big person in the community for a while there. And then I would go home and work a 9 to 5 and see my family, and it was just like, you know, doing my thing.
Cause like, you got stuff like skating, that's, you
Yeah.
know, there's money involved in that, and like there's pro skaters that just skate for but like they still do what they want, or at least that's what it seems like when I watch the vlogs and stuff.
So there was never any competitive conflict, like political. There was no sponsorship issues. There was no making this much money, and if I don't win, I don't make that much money.
I think like if you just wanted to stay special and exclusive, then that's on you, bro. Because I think it's I just like the tricking part, so it's cool with me.
There's underground tricking community, and I feel like it might get swallowed up a little bit.
But then I don't think that the answer is more viewership and more money. It means that your sport is better or like somehow more relevant. So I'm totally fine with tricking staying under the radar and keeping the way it is, because it's just it's still pure.
If we don't fix some of the things in our community now, it could also be hard to retain more women in the sport. So there's that.
Mainstream recognition means there are more trickers. I think that people are afraid that there will be new people who will come in and dilute what they believe tricking should be, or who will eclipse them in skill. But to be honest, that's going to happen anyways.
The foundation has been built. Everyone knows each other. Everyone knows who to contact. Everyone's made friends. There's more people to join and more people to make friends with. I just don't think that there's too many cons to it. I don't know, I think it's great, but that's just me.
I'm totally down with keeping tricking under the radar and just keeping this an amazing community of people that we have that actually understand what they're a part of.